Once that's done, and that's doing its thing, she's going to lift another batch of water out, and she's going to bring that to a boil. She's going to wash that through the grain a second time, making something known as small beer. Ever hear small beer? How about 3-2 beer?
Oh, okay.
You know, terrible stuff, isn't it? Yeah, nobody wants 3-2 beer, right? Well, 3-2 beer is small beer in my day. You know what they call 3-2 beer today? Light beer.
Oh, okay.
What does everybody want when you go to the bar?
Light beer.
Right. So 3-2 beer that everybody hated, called small beer in my day, is known as light beer today, and everybody wants it.
Huh.
Madison Avenue, folks.
Wow.
But after she makes her small beer, then she's got to take the grain that's left from that and distribute it to the animals. Over a ton.
Wow.
Each day. Each time she does that brewing cycle, she's doing over a ton of lifting in one day.
Wow. That's amazing.
Just for the beer. That doesn't count the cooking, doesn't count the laundry, doesn't count the baking.
That's the hard thing to do.
These are not shrinking violets we're talking about here. These women are workers. The farmers of the day, again, going back to those farm records, we know what they're eating, okay? What do the doctors tell you today? Limit your calories, right?
Right.
You know that as an average middle-class farm employee 400 years ago in England, I would be eating over 4,500 calories a day.
To work your tail off.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweating.
A gallon to a gallon and a half of beer, a pound to a pound and a quarter of meat, couple ounces of butter, quarter pound of cheese, pound of bread. This is per person at all age groups. Okay? If I ate that, I'd swell up like a deer tail.
I'm telling you.
But these people are working it off.
Right.
And the main method of preservation in Britain in those days is salt. What's the doctor telling you today?
Cut the salt. Oh, yeah.
Cut the salt.
I'm not allowed to touch it.
Okay? 400 years ago, you'd have been in a bad way because you'd have had to eat fresh meat on everything.
Right. I love salt.
Right. But 400 years ago, you're working it off.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay? It's not the ingredient so much as it is the labor aspect. I mean, these guys are 6 o'clock in the morning, they're finishing breakfast and going out to deal with the animals.
Right.
And then 10 o'clock at night, they're going to bed. And this is pretty much the year's cycle as a farmer in England.
Yeah, they're not doing vacations
Right.
and stuff like this.
So when they come over here,
7 days a week.
we actually find that the calorie count reduces. Is the workload reducing any?
Yeah.
No, in some cases it's even worse because of the heat, things like that.
Yeah, well, and having to build.
Sure. So what you're looking at is at least the same, if not more work, for a lower amount of food. How are these people surviving? How are they doing physically at that point?
And the dying.
Fairly, yeah. Yeah, the death rate here in Virginia at times could be 7 and 10.
Wow.
What's that?
Oh. Every damn time. Every time.
I don't even jump anymore. I get the warning call and then we go from there.
What are you making now?
This is something called a levator. Yeah, it's for lifting out that skull fragment after we do it for panning. You get a depressed skull fracture. Well, you need to get that bone out of there before it does something nasty to you. And the levator, after you drill it, use the levator to raise it up. You get the levator hot enough to actually shake it. It's going to be a little S-shaped piece of metal. Basically what I'm looking at, usually with a little ball in the center. Yeah. Now, those are things that would have been brought in from England in those days. But if it gets damaged, it gets lost, and it needs replacement, the guy's going to make it.
You can't wait for long.
Yeah, you're looking at 3 months.
Right.
And that's if everything goes well. 3 months to get a replacement part.
Take that shit. Lost. Whatever.
Sure.
Man,
never even know what happened to it.
I can get one here in 24 hours now, you know, that's
Pretty much,
crazy.
yeah. We take that for granted today.
Yeah, I know it.
There we go.
Wow. That's been
Oh yeah, it hurts.
Has it ever happened to you?
Oh sure. It's just one of those things, you get used to it after a while. One thing you never do in a blacksmith shop is grab a piece of metal that's falling.
right.
Can be very bad. Chefs and smiths tend not to grab things that are falling. Same reason in both cases. What I'm doing right now is hot filing this to get it down to the shape I'm after. It's much more efficient than cold filing it. Of course, the drawback to hot filing it is it's hot. And if you flip, you get these really interesting